I'm a local, 45 years old, been here all my life, never moved. Started at Georgetown Steel as a 11th grader in high school. Been there for years until its recent closing. And, I'm just a longtime resident of Georgetown.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're trying for your second term in office, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And what was it about the first 4 years you say, I want to do this again?
Well, I believe that it takes, I'm not the type to, it's not about Tupelo Humes at all. I'm the type of person that wants to work with council members as a team. It's not up to, a lot of people think that for me, a lot of people think that council runs Georgetown, and that's not the perspective that I take. The city administrator, it's her job to run the city of Georgetown. It's the department head's job to run the city of Georgetown. It's up for council to approve whatever these guys are doing, and that's the approach that I take. Also, I like to listen to the input of the citizens of Georgetown. What do they want? It's never about, and I know that other council members have a different perspective than I have, but it's never about what I want, and that's just the way that I feel about that. Some people don't like, my take on that, but that's just me, and I'm gonna stick with that perspective. I just believe that, allow the city administrator to do her job, allow the department heads to do their job, and for council to listen to the concerns of the citizens of Georgetown. It's not about what I want. It's not about what Henry Milton wants. It's not about what council wants. It's about what the citizens of Georgetown want from us.
Mm-hmm. And as far as the past 4 years, what are you most proud of that you've helped accomplish in the past?
Well, it's a little bit more than 1 year for COVID. If this year pans out, it'll be right at 2 years that this council had to deal with that. And and with that being said, I believe that we've made some accomplishments. We've got $375,000 for dilapidated housing on the West End. We've approved 2 apartment complexes, one on Lincoln Street, one that's being built right now near the post office. We've got Eagle Electric that will house 70 to 75 jobs once that project is completed. Also, we've got a group home that's here in Georgetown now, and once that's fully staffed, that'll be 40 to 45 jobs. We've got grants for flooding, here on Front Street, Orange Street, end of the town, and to be in a pandemic and to make the accomplishments that we have, I'm proud of that. What would have said if the pandemic wasn't here? How much more could this council have done? And when I say council, I mean council. I don't mean Tupelo Humes. I don't mean Brendan Barber. I don't mean Cal Giroux. I mean us as a body, what we have accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing you're going to have to look at if you're reelected for another 4 years, most likely, is Liberty Steel. You being in the steel industry, do you have any inside scoop on what's going to happen with it?
That's it's kind of it's not a tricky question. Being a steel worker since '92, I started there in the 11th grade at the age of 16. So that place I hold dear to my heart. And honestly, I wish that they could survive. But if they don't, we have to come up with a plan. We have to come up with something to do with that property. Me personally, I would love to see economic development. Maybe some type of leisure could go hand in hand with it. But and a lot of people want to see condos and restaurants. That doesn't pay the bill around here. I would like to see more than just that. I would like to see some type of light industry. What that light industry is, that would be between council and citizens to find out, exactly what do we want to do with that property. I wish that Liberty could make it. But if they don't, we're going to have to start planning for that now.
Do you think the study that was done in 2017 is still good enough, or should there be another study, or?
Not so much of another study, but just take that as a guide. Mm-hmm. Let's take that study as a guide and go from there. Council, and me, I will revert back to the citizens to know exactly. And studies like that, it's a group of people, what they foresee. Mm-hmm. I want to know what the citizens of Georgetown want from us.
Yeah.
And that's just my take on that.
Now let me ask this: if the property is redeveloped into something, and it causes property values to increase in that area, would we be looking at another situation like happened in Pawleys Island, where you had the residents lived there, and then suddenly things started developing, and then the property values became so high that they couldn't afford the taxes on the property, and they were forced out of their homes? Do you foresee if the Liberty Steel property is redeveloped that could happen to at least part of the West End?
And and that's a concern, and that's another reason why I'm pushing to remain a council member, to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm a resident of the West End, and for property taxes to go so high to where I would have to move out, I would. That's one of the reasons, that I would like to remain, to make sure we do whatever's right for the people of Georgetown, to make sure that doesn't happen to residents of the West End.
Yeah, but how could you personally, you'd be one vote, how could you convince other people to say, hey, maybe this shouldn't come to Liberty Steel property because of how it will affect the West End?
Mm-hmm. And Scott, you're right. That's something that I would have to collaborate with my colleagues, to come to an agreement to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm only one vote.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the budget. What do you suggest they do to balance the budget? Cuts, taxes? Well, what?
Well, in certain areas of the city, they had many tax increases in 14 years, since 2007. I hate to be one of the council members that would have to approve a tax increase on the citizens, but I would just like the citizens to know that it wasn't us. It wasn't this group of council members. It's on us now, because the balance isn't budgeted, and we're between a rock and a hard place.
Because I've heard it said many times that if there would have been a tiny increase every year,
right,
you wouldn't have to do a huge increase right now if that's what council chooses to do.
Right, but there wasn't a tiny increase. It was nothing done. So now it's up to us.
So the can got kicked to your corner.
The can got kicked to our corner. And my suggestion, basically we're going to have to do something. A large increase, no. Let's just gradually try to, put that, I hate to say put the burden on the citizens, but being honest, that's where it's going to fall to.
Are there any areas that you see that can be cut to help balance the budget?
Scott, we in a rock and a hard place right now. Hard question.
I mean, you don't want to go, if you start saying police, fire, people
right
are not going to go for that.
Exactly, you don't want to do that.
So what area is expendable in the city to say, okay, we don't need that?
That's something that I would have to, not wanting to say the wrong thing, but that's something I would have to sit with my colleagues, the mayor, the city administrator, department heads, find out from department heads if there's any area in their department, whatever department it is, that we can cut. It's sort of a predicament right now.
Businesses in Georgetown have been hurt a lot, usually by floods, and of course the past year by COVID. What can the city do to help businesses? One thing we hear is, Georgetown County doesn't have a business license. But if you open a business in the city, you have to pay a business license. Is that something that should be looked at or not?
And my take on that, Scott, if a business wants to come to Georgetown, how expensive is the business license? You know, is it really that much of a burden on the person who wants to open that business? Is that expense really that much? You know, the city has to survive. You know, we've got to get funds from somewhere. You know, and for us to just say that we're not going to charge a fee for business license, I don't think that that's feasible.
Do you think that we should continue with a strong mayor form of government, or look at possibly changing it?
No, I don't think that we should change the strong mayor form of government, and I'll tell you why. Because it was never a conversation about strong mayor form of government until now.
Now, are you implying something that you keep saying until now? No. I mean,
until there was an African American mayor, we never had this conversation about a strong mayor.
But you don't think people who are saying it are just saying, hey, it's about the issues, it's about meeting in person, it's about having special events.
Well, we've had issues with other mayors,
but not with special events and not with COVID.
Not with special events because we didn't have COVID.
Right.
You know, we didn't have a problem with special events. So now, with this mayor being cautious now, all of a sudden, we want to change the strong mayor form of government. I don't agree with that.
I personally hope you're not right. It's a color thing. I hope it's an issue thing, but you're on the inside. I'm not. Mm-hmm. And so you see things from a whole different perspective than those of us on the outside looking into. But I hope you're not right.
I hope it's not. Scott, I'm just looking at it for what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it for what it is. We've never heard this conversation about partisan or bipartisan or strong mayor until there's a predominantly black council and mayor now, and and it's just the truth.
Will you be running if you make it past June 8th as sort of a ticket with the mayor? You know, vote for Mr. Humes and Mr. Barber.
No. Mr. Barber's running his race. I'm running my race. Whatever council member, they're running their race. You know, Scott, I'm different than any other candidate in this race. You know, I'm not a politician. I'm a blue collar worker. I've been a blue collar worker for 45. Been in Georgetown for 45 years. You know, I don't believe in agendas. I don't believe in platforms whatsoever. I believe in serving the people of Georgetown, and that's just my take on it. You know, a lot of people don't understand that. I work for the people. Mm-hmm. I don't want to tell them what I'm going to do. I want them to tell me what they want me to do for them. You know, and that's just, we're not talking about running the United States of America. We're talking about 9,000 people in Georgetown. Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about. And I want to represent them. Of course, there's ideas that I may bring to the forefront, but it ultimately, you know, we know economic development, we know affordable housing, we know we want to fix the roads, but to me, an agenda and a platform is the best educated lie that you can tell the public, and I believe that. You know, I'm going to say a candidate is going to say whatever he can to get support, to get that vote from that constituent. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm here to serve the people. You know, I'm not promising anything. Only thing I'm promising is to work the best of my ability to serve the people of Georgetown. And you feel you've done that in the past 4 years? I feel I've done that. And I can vouch for you on one thing. I mean, you make sure, I don't know if you've missed any meetings, but you may, if you've missed... Maybe one. And what I'm getting at now, the meetings have been, you know, virtual, and you've been calling in. I know for a fact you actually call from work sometimes. Mm-hmm. You don't even miss the meetings when you're at work. Mm-hmm. You I guess take a lunch break to attend a meeting. Mm-hmm. So I mean you are dedicated. I give you that, and that's something that you know, a big plus on your side. But you've got 4 other candidates going to be on the ballots on in June. Why should they vote for you as one of the 3 they can vote for? Because I'm trustworthy. I shoot straight from the hip. You know, I'm just somebody who wants to work for the people of Georgetown. You know, I'm not going to feed them anything. I'm not going to tell them what they want to hear. You know, I'm not going to tell them what they want to hear. My job is to work with council, all of council, city administrator, department heads to figure out what's the best things that we can do for the city of Georgetown. It's not about me. It's never about me. You know, never about me. Scott, that's just my take on it. You know, that's just my take on it.
Yeah. Anything happened in the past 4 years you wish you could change? I mean, I'm asking about the good times, which you're proud of. But anything that you voted on or done or said or anything in the past 4 years, you know, as a council member, you say, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have done it that way?
No. The only thing I wish that didn't happen in the last 4 years is this pandemic.
Maryville, of course, has a lot more land that can be used for business development than other parts of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that not being showcased to businesses? You know, saying, hey, if you put a Lowe's here, you put a Home Depot here, you will probably not only get traffic from Pawleys Island that doesn't want to go to Myrtle Beach, but you'd also get traffic from Owendale and McClellanville that don't want to go to the busy Mount Pleasant or Charleston,
Mm-hmm.
and you get Georgetown. You get all these areas flocking to you.
But what if,
why can't we showcase it like that?
what if we're trying to attract those companies and they don't want to come?
Yeah. Are we trying? I mean, do you know if the city's trying?
That's you know, I'm not at liberty to speak
Okay.
on that right now. But you know, it's ultimately up to that business. You know, we can try as much as we want to. If they say, well, the demographic isn't right, you know, or you know, but we are making attempts. To be honest, this council as a team, we've made some accomplishments. You know, even in a pandemic, you know, we've made some accomplishments, and I just want to continue to be a part of that team. You know, to keep moving Georgetown forward. And you know, the one of the most significant things, if Liberty Steel doesn't make it, if it doesn't make it, that will be the single most important issue in Georgetown in the last 60 years.
Right. And you'll be there for it.
And I want to be there for it.
Okay. Well, once again, I guess we'll see you again next week on the stage at the Howard Auditorium,
Yes,
where
sir.
all 5 candidates will gather and talk about the issues. So we'll live stream that night. But thank you for doing this. I also want to thank Jeanette Ard and Miss Joyce for letting us use Colonial Florist. That's the background you see here. We're here at Colonial Florist and using their lobby area. So thank them for that.
Yes, sir.